Hello, everyone, and welcome to Navigating the Current Energies with myself, Robin Winn, and using human design, and my beloved friend and colleague, Deborah Sudarsky, who is calling us to connect to our light beings, to connect to the light beings and to our guides, our own guides. And we're using the combination of those two energies to take a look and see what's going on with us and how can we best navigate these waters. So before we do that, let's just take a moment and connect with ourselves so we're available to receive whatever guidance is coming to us. And we begin that simple process by connecting into our bodies, our physical bodies, our instruments, our precious human birth. Just sensing our arms and our legs, feeling our feet touching the floor, feeling our belly center. Taking a breath and just watching as the air moves through this incredible vehicle that we've been gifted. Having a gentle smile on our lips. And if you know your human design Buddhagraph, taking a moment just to bring that image into your awareness, that comprehension of yourself as that multidimensional quantum blueprint that you are. And just smiling at your body graph, your human design body Buddha graph. And from here, we open our hearts and our minds and open to the guidance of the universe, however that would show up, whether it's Christ or Mary Magdalene or Mother Mary or Tara or the violet flame or the angels, whatever Buddhas or Bodhisattvas that are your lineage, that are your connection, or the spirit, the universal organizing principle, whatever that would be, to open to receive the guidance, spirit, the universe has for us today. And just feeling that land, feeling that receptivity, and offering that for the benefit of all beings. So Deborah, why don't you jump in? You were saying some incredible things earlier.
Yeah, we've been having sort of a deep conversation before we got started today, but I woke up this morning. I often think before Mondays when Robin and I are scheduled to get together, what's going to be the message and try and be open and receptive. And that guides actually woke me up this morning talking about the fact that these transmissions that we get on this weekly podcast, whatever we call it, YouTube channel, are actually transmissions that are beyond time and place. And so even though we're talking about October 18th through the 25th and what the current energies are, these transmissions are available to each of you listening because we're just a channel for spirit to communicate. And the reality is each one of you have so much support and so much spiritual connection. And sometimes we get caught up in our lives and we don't hear it, don't realize it. And so when Robin and I connect like this and connect with our hearts, we're opening a portal of information that may be exactly what you need to hear at this moment in time. So even though it could be November, December, that you're coming around to listening to this transmission, there's something in here for you. And it defies time and place. And the guides were talking to me about it because time is actually simultaneously occurring. We don't live in linear time. That's a construct that we've made on the planet Earth, living in this physical dimension, because it's too complicated to imagine what it's like to be living simultaneous time. I mean, I can't imagine it. I think the only time you really feel it is if you're in a meditative state and you have that moment where you feel the timeline continuum and you can see how things affect each other from past and towards the future. And so trust that if you're listening right now, there's a message here for each of you that somehow we're communicating even unknowingly. And that is one of the powers of this transmission. And today, especially, I think the message that I've been getting is that there's so much guidance for all of us. And one of the things that I feel like is shifting. So today, actually, Mercury's going direct, Jupiter's going direct, Saturn just went direct, Pluto just went direct. These are very heavy, heavy energies. And they've been digging deep and bringing things to the surface that needed to come out. And so it's been really wonderful and powerful. And also, we're going to be able to move more forward than we have because we've been sort of in a review stage. And now we're going to be able to start moving forward. And today, truthfully, it's stationing. So maybe that's the fatigue. Robin and I were both sharing. I mean, I've been feeling so tired. And so maybe that's part of it. Actually, the guides are saying it's also that our light bodies are coming into our physical beings. And so our physical beings need to get on board with the lighter energy. And so we may feel a need to drink more water or eat more greens or do something to sort of energize our physical beings so that we can integrate some of these higher energies and higher um, vibrations. But the message that I'm getting, especially this week, has been I know that we get to this sort of feeling that we have to live the right way. We have to eat the right food. We have to think the right thoughts. We have to meditate. We have to work out. We have to sleep. We have to connect deeply. And the guides are telling me there's really no right way, that everything you're doing right now is perfect, that there is no right, there is no wrong. It's all about the experience of being on earth. It's a huge buffet. There's lots to eat. You want to eat a little sugar, maybe it doesn't work for you, then you decide not to. But there's no right way to do this experience on earth. And so I think it takes a lot of pressure off of feeling like, oh, I've got to do all these right things. And that's just an added pressure you don't need to have. Whatever brings you joy, that is your guide. Finding how to be in alignment with the things that give you pleasure, the things that make you feel joy, creating a life where you get to express the things you do through your work, which whatever decisions you make, whether it's working with animals or whether it's doing spiritual work, or whether it's in technology or law or construction. There's so many ways of being on the planet, and there is no right way. And so it's an exciting time. There's so much going on. We're shifting in ways that we can't even imagine. Maybe at some point in the next few months, we'll be able to look back and say, wow, look how far we've come, but we're in it right now. We're in the middle of it. And so let's just take one step at a time, bring the moments of joy that we can in our lives, do a lot of self-care, create the things that make you feel happy. And that's the message the guides are telling me, which is that we're living, we're doing the transformation. It's happening. We don't have to do anything to make it happen. It's already happening. And so give ourselves a little break. If you need to take a nap, do that. I just have a new puppy, and I know I was sharing that next week. She's asleep, so thankfully I'm not going to have to share it today. But that has given me so much joy. And I think that's the message. I don't know if that's a unified message or not, Robin. I don't know where you go with that, but maybe you can help bring the perspective from human design to shed some light.
Yeah, thank you, Deborah. Let's just take a moment and receive that. It's so relieving and refreshing, right? To like not have that pressure to have to be do perfect, like to let that one go and liberate ourselves to be present, really, right? And be yeah, to take all those shoulds off and step in. I'll talk about that in a minute when I look at the transits, but before I go there, I want to say, address what you said at the beginning about the guides woke you up saying, yo, these podcasts are not just for the week you're doing them. And I want to just acknowledge that. I love that you got that message. And we really created this as a structure of support for the weekly, things that were happening, because such big things were happening. This was really in response to people really having a hard time. And yet we haven't really spoken to the piece of the time-space continuum. And yeah, these are the planets that are transiting this week, but those gates that we're talking about, you may have them in your chart. They might be up for you at any given time that you're working with those energies. You might be in relationship to someone who has those energies. It's the same as the planets transiting. Someone walks into the room and that has those energies, you're going to be impacted by it. So yeah, so anytime you're listening to this, open to receive the message. It's almost like you're picking an oracle card or something, like, oh, you're called to listen to this message now. What does it, where is it touching you? How can you receive the transmission? What you said earlier, I don't know if you said it right now, that there's a bunch of mini transmissions that are coming through these calls. So they're available for you. So receive them. Don't get stuck on oh, that happened that week. No, take it. Give yourself the gift of what's coming through here.
I think what we were saying before, what the guides used the word was actually portal. And so these transmissions are looking for an opportunity to reach you. And sometimes we're not listening or we're not hearing it because we're preoccupied or our minds are going a million directions. And so the space that we're creating, hopefully, for each of you listening, has an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I can feel it. I feel it when we're together. I feel the transmissions that come through, and it's good. It's good medicine.
I feel I can actually, I don't have words for it. I can feel the energies being uh, it's almost like sparkling energy coming through.
Yeah. It's beautiful. Well, I'm going to bring up the charts we're just finishing. Unless there's more you wanted to say here. Is it okay if I transition to that?
I'm excited to
Okay.
see the chart.
So I'm going to first bring up the chart that we had last week that we're still on the, oh, that's a little small. Let me just see if I can make that bigger. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
That we had last week that we're just on the tail end of, just to reiterate that before I go into next week. So we have another day or another couple of hours, depending on where you're living, to really spend some time completing what needs to be completed so that we can go towards our big dreams, right? Whatever needs to be cleared out of the way. I was telling Deborah earlier, like I was at a seminar and the facilitator was talking about he had zero tolerance for any shoulds or any guilt or shame, that it just is an energy that takes you down and brings down your frequency and doesn't support your big dreams, right? And I got this thought, yeah, I'm going to go through my life and I'm going to just see any place I have a belief or a shame or guilt belief, and do Byron Katie's work on it, clean it up so that I don't have that inflammation, that virus, low grade inflammation operating in the background. So that's how I'm looking at this 40. One of the ways I'm looking at this 42, and I'm really opening to, yeah, well, what are my dreams? What are your dreams? Can you align with them? Can you open to them? Can you let yourself feel them? Again, there's the fear that, oh, they're not going to come true. You're like, yeah, that fear is there, of course, but we've got to try. We've got to open to them. That's where the joy comes, and actually opening to these urges, these like longings, these desires that are, desires to be more authentic, to be more of who we are. Deborah, you were talking about that when we were on the call earlier before we hopped on. So this is what we're completing today. And I'm going to just pull up where we're headed then. So you can see that okay, Deborah?
Yeah, yep.
So look, we've got the sun in gate 50. We're still on the spleen, which is all these fear gates, right? The 50 is about values. It's got an energy of nurturing. It's about sharing your values with the tribe. Now, so we've cleaned up something. We've got our big dreams. We're going to share our values with the tribe, which is what you started off talking about today, Deborah. Really, like it's a value, like really living a life that's not caught in right or wrong. That's a value, right? That's a value. You're sharing with us. Wake up. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Now, here's the interesting thing. This is individual. This is the earth. It's called difficulty at the beginning, and it's also called innovation. So the way I look at this coming week is getting closer to ourselves, being innovative with what we value and how we share it, stepping into your innovation, stepping into your authentic self, your unique individual self. Remember, it's difficult at the beginning because nobody gets it. You got to make room for people not getting it. It's okay if people don't get it. You're bringing something new. You're grounded by tapping into the new, the future thing that you're bringing to the present, that unique thing. So don't be afraid of what's unique that arises in you this week, and bring it to the tribe, bring it to share. Let it permeate your values. Let it flower. Let it have its life as you bring it to the tribe. Again, there's always a little tension between our individual self and the tribal self, but here we have the opportunity to let the individual support the tribe, not be in conflict. So big week to embrace your individuality, your innovations, and I almost see it like you take like an artist creating their art and then bringing it to the tribe and getting the transmission of what you're bringing. That's exactly what you did today, Deborah. You got your download, you brought it, and you shared it with the tribe. You like served it. Oh, I was telling Deborah I had a dream about her. I just remembered the other part of the dream, Deborah. You were serving me a hoagie, a big sandwich. So Deborah's very nurturing, as you can feel that. But so to bring that nurturing, caring value with your innovation, don't split your innovations off. Don't split them off. Don't split those things that are being born and poking up out of the earth, these new little alive awarenesses of your authenticity, your uniqueness, what you value. Really let that come through. So
I love the analogy of the buffet because, there's a hoagie. You don't think of that as like healthy food, but it's delicious. It's got all the good fixings in there. And so it's kind of a really great metaphor for our conversation today.
well, yeah, you were talking about the food thing, like everybody tries to eat right and do everything right and enjoy.
Enjoy.
Yeah, this came out of the oven. You had it in the oven.
Well, the other thing is, I think we want to fit in. And when we really listen to ourselves, we're able to create and bring things that maybe will benefit other people. We just, instead of trying to fit into the cosmos, recognize that each of us individually are bringing things to uplift. And I love the energies of this week. That sounds very positive, especially coming out of this Mercury retrograde and all these other planets in retrograde, because we're like stirring the sauce, and now it's time to bring forth what we've gotten out, what we've learned.
Yeah, you spoke about that before. I don't remember if you did today, but like in these retrogrades, we go in. It's the time to go in, and now it's like those retrogrades are shifting, so it's the time to come back out. We come back out with what we've gotten from that deep work inside.
Definitely. It's like a reflective time.
Yeah. Oh, wow, it feels so good, doesn't it? Something feels so
Yes.
good here. There's
Yes.
it's light,
Yes.
there's a lightness.
I'm feeling those transmissions. So some of them may not even be verbal, they're just an energy that are coming through. And hopefully, and I'd love anybody listening to comment if you're feeling the energies that seem to go beyond the words that we're speaking.
Yeah. So just take a moment to check in if either of us have something else that wants to come through.
Hmm.
I just feel a little giddy. I feel the energy is making me a little giddy, like excited giddy.
Yay. Feels good, feels good, feels positive, feels, I feel a sense of movement going forward as opposed to kind of being stuck. So it feels good.
So if you're not feeling that, that's all good too. This is not about the right way you should feel. It's like however the energy is hitting you, if it's hitting you like, oh, might be that something's wanting to come up and, have its life, get some airtime. So all good. All good. All right. Are we calling this a wrap then?
I think we're calling it a wrap, and feel so much love and appreciation for the way you create this space and your perceptions of the way the human design integrates into each of the energies we talked about. Feels so great. Thank you.
You're welcome. I just feel like we've been brought together for a purpose, and we're living our purpose here. So it feels alignment. I appreciate it. So let's just all take a moment in closing and see, what do you appreciate? What we appreciate is what we value. Opening this week into value. What do you appreciate? Where are you in alignment? What do you need to complete before you can be at the next level of alignment for yourself? Just taking a moment to smile at your life, send blessings to everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fantastic in your life. Honoring and respecting that we're being given a buffet of experiences in this human timeline. And just asking that, go ahead. You want to say something, Deborah?
Yeah, just a hoagie.
Okay, yeah. And just
We're being given a
we're
hoagie.
being given a hoagie. Yeah, and just to receive that we might all open to receive the guidance that is right there available to us this week for whatever arises, whatever energies, whatever this shape-shifting world, however it shows up for us, that we have what it takes to meet the energies that arise. And giving thanks to all the high beings, and to offering again whatever we've received for the benefit of all beings. Placing our hands on our hearts and just feeling gratitude.
Thank
Thank
you.
you
That was
so
great.
much. See you all later.
Thank you.